Level up. Level up. Okay. I was about to go Sierra on y'all. What is up? It is your girl in the meantime and in between time. It's your girl Kanakane coming to you with another video. Married at First Sight. Season 14, episode 9. This was a real impactful episode, full of information, just full of everything. All that good, gushy stuff that you need to kind of sort it out, maneuver it, and see where you fit in and work it out, right? Now, I'm starting to get used to this thing, seeing that people, go through to make up, which is so awesome because this is an experience at the end of the day, right? So let's kick it in with Noi and Steve and let's see where it goes. Because Steve did something I wasn't ready, I didn't know he had it in him to say and do, but he did it. So Steve and Noi, let me see. Do I have Steve and Noi paper? I thought I'd take a little notes this time because, I don't have a lot. But they started out with the treasure hunt. And let me go ahead and play it while I'm on mute so when it come up I can see I need to talk about that. Anyway, so they started out with a cute little treasure hunt that, created by Noi, which I thought was a great touch from her last situation. Because Noi, she was being bad. Episode 8, she really had the situation going with just little minor things that you should know to be nice. You know what I'm saying? It don't take nothing to be nice. So I think she realized and she tried to make it up to him because no matter what, on camera but off camera, we don't really get to see them interact and really see how they indulge with each other and get to know one another. I'm pretty sure it's on a better basis than when those cameras are rolling, because it's something about even when cameras get to rolling on me, when I turn this live on, the conversation get different, things get real, but I'm not always gelling the way I would. My conversation off camera is on, okay? I don't skip words. My meaning is clear. When I get on this camera, stuff be going left and right. I be like, wait a minute. And then I sound robotic. So, yeah. So what I'm basically saying is the camera can alternate, real deal Holyfield situations that basically, wouldn't be there if there weren't cameras. And it can alternate the whole reality of a real relationship. That's all I'm saying. So Noi probably realized I was a bit harsh. One thing I did like that she noticed that Steven, he may haven't told her he loved her, but she could recognize by his actions that, wow, he was up all night. He was really bothered by her not coming back, and he just was frustrated, and it showed a level of love and concern. So I thought for me that was pretty good because, it means that she have enough sense to know love language. You know what I'm saying? Love is always going to be, if a person never tells you, it's always going to be in what they do. Some people say, my mama never said my daddy never said he loved us, but if he got up and went to work every day and came in and paid them bills, guess what? Your daddy told you in all kind of other ways, I love you. Because ain't nobody getting up going to work for another person and don't leave, make excuses, and why do this keep going to that? Let me go out of this real quick. Okay, so real talk, nobody's going to perform and they don't love you. That's just realness. And if this does this again, I'm mad. Okay, there we go. So, I'm sorry. Because I like to put it on the television. So while I'm talking, because I am forgetful, and I said, I got to make myself remember, and this is one of my ways. So forgive me. I had to get that rolling. But back to Noy and Steve. I think this was a very impactful episode because they threw some questions out there for people to answer. The little treasure hunt to find her was a very great gesture of her trying to turn that leaf and be kind and show a more gentler side, because I felt like she knew she messed up and she had to reel it back in to kind of come from a softer place, a place where, she's not coming off like a witch and coming off like a woman, a lady, someone that a man could love, and not someone that you want to, if you're having too much drama and too many red flags, you're going to keep your distance, And so, yeah. So the other big thing that Steve did is he popped that I love you out of there. Everybody had the question of, love and have they ever been in love, and they all, gave their scenarios of, being in love and what it takes for them to be in love, which was grand. But he actually said to Noy, I love you. And that was so, we know it's only been 2 to 3 weeks now, but it's still moving in the right direction for a solid connection. And that's the goal of the show. That's the goal of the whole experiment, to see if it really works. Can people really find love? Can they stick together? Can it be what it is? And I just was really proud of that. I just was like, oh, he loves her. And he said it. Yes. So that's what I got for Noy and Steve. I hope that they get stronger. I know there'll probably be another bump in the road, but so far their process is going exactly as planned. And I'm glad for them, because I want to see all the couples make it, to be honest. Even Mark and Lindsay. But, we got to keep going through this process to see what goes here. Okay, so, and I want to say the best for last. So let's go to Lindsay and Mark. Y'all know Lindsay and Mark, they had that big powwow at the bowling alley. And so the starting of this episode for those two, basically they were still frustrated from their little powwow. And they both have an attitude. And they both were just, when you still mad at somebody, it's like, how was your day? Fine. What did you do today? Nothing. It was kind of basic like that. You enjoy the food, it's good. It was that kind of communication, like cut and dry. So it was very much, attitudes were still flaring in the air, which with those two, because their communication is so bad, it was non-negotiable for it to be like that, right? And they had a lot going on, but I'm gonna make this kind of brief. I don't want to get so entailed, I guess, but I think the impact for me with Mark and Lindsay is when they did get in the talk of, I love you, or, ever being in love and what it takes to be in love. And he described his situation and she described hers. It made them have a conversation on their communication and why they're not gelling and flowing. And I think Mark really described it a lot better than he's been coming across. He was able to, let me see if I wrote this down. Well, I know one thing he was letting her know is that, you don't see a reality of what your mouth can do. You're not really because Lindsay really is in the dark about her behavior and her how harsh she is. I think she don't really see her tone as harsh as it really is, and she takes a back seat to being able to relate to Mark when he's trying to tell her, look, our communication is really warped because, and he let her know up front what it is. He described it in a beautiful way, but she's still like trying to deny the fact that that's who she is and it's not right and she needs to fix it. But first she needs to acknowledge it. She doesn't even acknowledge it. She had like everything Mark was saying, Mark was wrong. And then she had the nerve to keep calling him negative. You're so negative, Mark. And I thought, it's hard for me to accept people when they're really talking about themselves. Like, I'm like, Lindsay, you are so negative too. You are talking about yourself. So I was just glad to see him take a humble approach to her and come to her in peace and say, if I've hurt you, if, I've ever, done things that deter lack of respect and just everything. He was going down the list explaining to her about his affection and how he thinks she's a wonderful person. She even thought he took a dig at, there's a wonderful loving person in there. She was like, that's a dig. And I just felt like, no, that was not a dig. He's telling you what he can see about you, but he's also telling you what is stopping him from viewing you as that wonderful, beautiful person. And she just Lindsay just wants to hear the positive. She doesn't want to hear the negative because she believes she's this wonderful person without the drama. And the truth of the matter is, this is why I say Lindsay don't have the right friends around her, because she hasn't heard it enough to understand it must be you. She just, doing nice things and being a nice person is really two different things. I know so many people who do nice things all the time and don't mean it, and shouldn't do them because they don't mean it, or shouldn't do them because then they throw it in your face later or complain later. And it's like, okay, did you do this so you could throw it in my face? Like, it doesn't make sense. Then don't do it, because I don't want you throwing something like this that should have been help in my face. And Lindsay is very much that kind of person. It's okay to bring up things that you've done to prove a point or to make a valid point, but to throw it in somebody's face for sarcasm and to win an argument is like, that's the ultimate no-no to me. So I think their moment was really touching and very, very, very sweet, because it was needed to bring them back to a soft moment, to almost like a beginning, to let them have a fresh start too, because they were getting way out of hand with the insults to one another. It was cute to see Mark even try new things, being open and trying new things for Lindsay to show that he can be vulnerable and let his guards down. And it was just nice to see them have fun together, because I think that is what all the couples are missing kind of right now. They're getting through that transition of, the honeymoon, and now it's getting kind of real knowing each other. And it's another another part of the experience that you got to navigate through. You got to be able to, see yourself in it, see who and where do you fit in, like, and how do you stand and make your standards solid with the other person through respect. I think the boundary of respect is always on the line with the couples. And, but it was good to see the transition for Mark and Lindsay, because that fight, that would have kind of done it for me at the bowling alley. Him, really putting her down and just overlooking her hurt and pain by, Katina's immaturity reflected on Lindsay. I thought, him just putting Lindsay down was not a husband's duty. It wasn't a role of a husband not to support your wife. And it was just, to me, a no-no. But for them to get past that and he come to a realization that maybe he was wrong and this and that and apologize for any wrong and then, move forward. Wonderful. Okay. Moving right along. Jasmina and Michael. Jasmina and Michael, they just can't have a simple conversation. These two still I like. This is my weird couple. Their energy is so awkward all the time. And I'm waiting for them to get that gel going on to where they actually look like they having fun, because every time they get on the camera, it's just like kicking bricks or something. It's like trying to kung fu fight. Their relationship is so, and Michael, okay, this for me, for Michael, it's a turn off for me, but okay, he always wants to talk serious. And that for me is so boring. Let's stop talking about serious topics. Let's have some fun. Let's get to know each other on a fun note, or let's do something fun that will connect us. And then when the serious talks come about, it's like a deep conversation and make it interesting, and then create a bond. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to know each other on a note where it's easy, so I can really feel at ease with you. Having a conversation with Michael is eggshells, and it's just awkward all the time. Even though they have a very similar personality, it's still just, oh my God, like Michael, boom. But what I didn't like about Jasmine is Michael is asking you, how do I communicate with you? And all you got is attitude. And then you telling him, stop having the attitude. And I'm like, there goes that, calling the kettle black thing. You know what I'm saying? There goes that snowball effect. Here you are telling him what you need to be taking advice for yourself, because the only person in that scenario right there that was catching the attitude and being annoyed was truly you. He was annoyed, but he wasn't disrespectful. So you telling me you can't have an emotion of being annoyed with you, like she's being, like her daddy said, bossy. And, for me, it's like Michael can't go right or wrong with her because she's still stuck in her mode about him being so negative, which I ain't gonna lie. That conversation was negative. I don't know if that was the right time to bring that up with them just getting over another hump of an argument, or, being so close. But I guess he didn't think that was going to turn into an argument, even though it did. I don't think that he expected it to. I think he really expected that he was going to get some help and then also get some points for vulnerability. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't happen like that. It turned into almost a major upset. And it's like, where can Michael meet that even ground? And I love the fact that the show came up with something to ease the tension and show and direct all these cats about love. You know what I'm saying? By bringing forth, what does it take for you to fall in love, or what is love to you, basically. And it gave everybody not only a description of what the other person would like or what it takes for them to fall in love, but it also made them evaluate each other and where they're at as far as the other person's description. Are they close to even coming to be able to fall in love with one another, or is their behavior dividing them so distant that it's nowhere in the ball field, And so I I think also, oh yeah, when all the couples came together and the guys want to play and the girls want to play, or have their feet done, pedicures, and the men wouldn't play whatever kind of ball that was. I felt like that was so needed for the men and women to have certain conversations, because you know what I felt like it did? I felt like the complaining of each other person helped the ones who want to be together to know, like, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to crumble like that. I don't want our love to fall away like that. And it kind of made them all come to understanding. Another thing that I really liked was it seemed like each couple was on the same page of the things that they were going through. When they showed the men talking, it's like, Jasmina was, her words were duplicate of Michael's. And Mark's words were duplicate of Lindsay's. And even though Katina didn't say much, Olajuwon said more than enough, as far as, he disappointed me. But back to Michael and Jasmina. Let me see. I got some notes. Let me show you what all I said. Michael asked for help in communication. Yes, he did, Mom. Share. Oh, yeah. Well, Michael shared his brother, his death anniversary with her, and she thought that was sweet because they hadn't been talking. It's just been like a hi-bye conversation in the house, which everybody's going through that, aren't they? It seems like, so to me, this process is really going as it should, because it seems like at the same time, everybody is kind of going through the exact same thing. They're mad at each other for whatever tit for tat they had, and the speaking is very limited. And I think this experience is really making two people who don't know each other at all on no level come together in a faster pace to kind of get it together and see, how do we get along? How do we communicate? How do we respect? It puts things in perspective of how do we mesh well enough for two strangers to meet, fall in love, and get along, and know that we want to be married and work this thing out. That's the beauty of it, right? And so for me, I said, okay, even though they're giving different vibes, they're all on the right track to me. They're all where they're supposed to be in this experiment. Even though Olajuwon is going off on the left end, it could be just a thing he's going through. It could be just something they're going through. And I'll get to Olajuwon in a minute, because I got some things that I think Olajuwon... But back to Michaela and Jasmina. Michaela, oh my God. If he knew I called him Michaela, he probably would windmill me. My name is Michael. And I think I called him Michaela more than once. Did I call him Michaela just a minute ago? Oh, Lord. Ooh. In my mind, I see Michaela. But, oh, goodness. I know it's Michael. Michael. So, Michael and Jasmina, whew, Lord, Michael and Jasmina. I think when she really went to the girls' spa day or pedicure day, she really listened to all the other things that were going on, and she didn't feel like the oddball in. She could resonate like, okay, we're all in a place where we should be, and it didn't feel foreign to her anymore. She figured it out. Okay, I need to have a different approach. I need to approach this situation differently, because I think noise post, when you marry someone, you marry their trauma, their childhood, that was just beautiful, because it's the truth. And it resonated with Jasmina. I got to get to know him, and I need to start from the beginning of where his pain began to kind of see why he's so shut down and comes across negative. Depression can be a badge that people wear. Some people are so comfortable in a depressive kind of state, and I think Michael's a good person, but he has a depressing type of state of mind that he's comfortable in, because every couple of years, like he said, something happens and he has to restart on how to grieve and how to handle himself emotionally, to where he's put things in a box. Meaning, I don't know how to be happy because I'm not really dealing with my emotions enough to be free of the bondage. You know what I'm saying? So, it's like he's comfortable being slightly depressed, slightly down, slightly saddened, and he's comfortable there because that he knows what to expect out of the disappointment. He knows what to expect out of the sadness that's attached to it. He knows what to expect out of the hurt and pain that is constantly embedded in that, and he don't have to fight that because it's comfort in that. Ain't that weird? But it's the truth. And people do it all the time. Being happy is just as much work as to be sad. But being sad seems to be easier. Because being happy means, guess what it means? That you have to do new things, try new things, go in unknown places, be around people you don't know. And, being around people you don't know can give you anxiety because sometimes, people don't smile. And so you don't know where they're coming from. And because you're in the same room with people, everybody could be looking at you and you're like, what is everybody looking at? And they might not be looking at you in a bad way, but enough to be like, put you in a paranoid state. Like, why is everybody looking at me? Because you're in the same room. You know what I'm saying? Because we only looking at you because you here too, But in your mind, it's like, they looking at me evil. They giving me evil faces. Why they, And so, new things, new challenges, happiness comes with, it comes with a chase. It comes with, it's a word I'm trying to use. Like when this camera come on, I can't put words together that I could say with no problem. This is why I say, keep rolling with me. I'm going to get better. But it comes at ease for some people, right? So, yeah. And I just thought her touch of showing him, I don't work out, but I'm about to work out. And then doing something that she know he loves. I like the banner she came up with. Her banner was cool. And, so coming up with the banner, coming up with the workout plan. But when she got to the point where they touched hands and sat on the floor, and to me, it was like that touch and agree type of situation where we're going to sit down, touch and agree, and we're going to come together. And that's exactly what it was. She came with the question like, tell me about your childhood. Tell me about, you losing your mom, your dad, your brother, and tell me your grandmother. Tell me about these things that hurt you. And he started with his brother. And y'all, I can't help it. I am a crybaby. I was all over the place when he got to talking about his brother and, seeing him and not being able to get it out. And when he said that cry felt good, I just felt it with him. I was like, see, this is what they needed. And to open him up, to get over that hump of hurt and pain, and to start fresh with a gentle touch. Now, I don't know what their next episode is going to be like, but I hope and pray that their next episode is so much relief that he's able to come out his shell and be some fun. I want them to get over the super, super duper serious conversations because I think it's just bringing the situation down to they're just going through the motions. Their situation is so boring. And if, you like boring and you don't mind, you stay in the house, you watch TV a lot, then maybe she can deal with it, but it's going to take a toll because nobody wants to be enslaved to boring or just no excitement. You got to have some fun and excitement in any relationship. You got to be able to laugh. And she said off camera, that they laugh a lot. And I really wish on camera we could see that because it would really balance them out. Right now, to me, they come across as the awkward kooky couple. I'm sorry, somebody's like, that's mean. But that's the way I feel. They come across as, the little awkward couple. And it's like, when are y'all gonna grow up and get some joy about y'all situation? Like, I wanna see you laugh. And I wanna see you be able to have a good time. I just don't wanna keep seeing these overly serious conversations that go nowhere but to an argument. So I want them to get over themselves. Okay, so I done talked about all the couples, and I done left the best for last because, Elijah Wan, I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to go through this because it's a lot to unpack with Elijah Wan. I have so many mixed emotions. The number one thing I want to say is I don't like his tone, and I don't like his delivery. Me and my sister, my daughter is like my sister, but me and my daughter, we battled this out because she felt like Elijah Wan was 100% right. And she was like, okay, his tone might be wrong, but it might be harsh, but it's things that needed to be said to Katina. But okay, I'm starting from the beginning with Elijah Wan. I'm starting with all the wooing he did. He did a lot of wooing in the beginning. And one thing I noticed about what Pastor Cal has said is, okay, when he talked about cooking and cleaning was the most important thing, very, very, very important to him, he said, well, Pastor Cal said, well, why wasn't that? You didn't say that in the process. You didn't say that when we met with you. And to me, for them to help you get what you want, if that was high on the list, why didn't you mention that in the process? You know what I'm saying? Okay, so since you didn't mention it in the process and, your friend Jeff is telling you, relax, like you're too into your head, get out of your head. Pastor Cal is warning you about, saying, what if it doesn't work? Because, you're basically also kicking the potential of the relationship if you're just stuck on what if it doesn't work, So that made me come up with, okay, so are you using this you can't cook as almost the same as I compared Michael to living in a depression? Now, is this, if she can't cook, that's a deal breaker. Is that your excuse to live in the comfort of this may not work? Because I've made an excuse now that I didn't bring into the process by telling them this is what I want. This is high on my list to have somebody who can cook. So now before the show, you done made up if she can't cook, this is going to be a deal breaker. When you didn't put that in your bio, you didn't put that as something that is a deal breaker for you as far as the woman that they have to find. So why did you come up with it later and not in the beginning if that's the deal breaker? Are you making an excuse so that you will have a reason to feel like this doesn't work? Now, I know it goes deeper than her just not cooking because he explained it like a third grader. But that whole, either when he was talking to his friend Jeff, he already felt this way from the little things that he's seen out of Katina. But see, I'm coming from when he met her and he was wooing her, telling her how beautiful she is and want 1 and 2 and 3 kisses. He wasn't worried about that then, and she told him that she really couldn't cook like that. But that wasn't his focus. You know what I'm saying? He was still wooing and I'll be the right husband for you. I'll be this was his promise. Remember his promise? My promise is to be a good husband to you. My promise is to be honest and truthful. My promise to you is to be a protector, which I'm not saying he's not doing any of those things. But being a good husband, you do not, the way he's flooring her and making her feel like she's nothing, with how he's coming at her about, not being able to cook and not cleaning up and doing some initial duties that show leadership, right? I get where he's kind of coming from because I see it in Katina. Katina is so laid back and she's not putting in a lot of effort. It's like I said, she's looking over his shoulder like, what you cooking today, sir? You know, and it could be annoying, but he's taking it too far. Because at the end of the day, this is not 1950. I do feel like women take notes on stuff like this because if you want to be married one day, you should have some basics down. But with all the cameras, with all of this is a new situation, you guys. I remember when I was young and I wanted to get married really bad. You know, women, we just envision marriage, picket fence, 2 kids. You know, we envision this kind of stuff. It's on our radar all the time. This is what we see to fulfill, not a fantasy, but a life dream to fulfill future prophecy for us, right? So I was so one day knowing I'm going to be married. And I had this dream one night that I was married. And in it, I was doing all the duties, but the number one thing stuck out to me and woke me up like I was in a nightmare was the fact that I finally got married and cling. It all began. I was locked in, the door shut, and I was locked in with this man, and it had to be me and him forever one-on-one. And I woke up like I was in a nightmare. And I was so scared because it felt so real and it felt different than the expectations and the fantasy dreams that I always had. It actually got scary and it was real. It was like a real scary moment because in the dream, I knew the marriage was no joke and it was so much work in it. I think that's the part that scared me. And I couldn't describe how I knew what I knew about marriage, but it was something that was deposited in my spirit that say, you want something, you got to be ready for it. So ever since then, I kind of backed up on really thinking about marriage like I used to think about marriage because I don't think somebody know but the people in it how hard marriage really, really is. I've never been married, but I swear that dream showed me enough that scared the heebie-jeebies out of me. Now, it could have been the devil trying to put fear in me to not want to get married, but I don't think that was it. I think God was giving me a reality opposed to the fantasies I always envisioned marriage to be to show me how real it's going to be. And I think Katina is that kind of person who really didn't understand, and a lot of other women out there who really don't understand how real marriage is. And it's every day, and it's constant, and it's work. You know, so the bare minimum, and this is a low blow to her parents. It's a low blow to her parents. It shows, you know, and one day I had to have this wake-up call too, because when you're a mom and you do everything for your kids, you even clean their room, sometimes you even, you know, you step in and do things when they can't because they're going to school and they're working so hard and they involved in different stuff and you just think, I'm going to help them. They ain't got to do it. I'll do it. I got it. And you realize one day that because you've been doing it all, you haven't taught them nothing. You haven't taught them how to handle situations. It's a slap in the face. And I think in this moment, when her family looks at this and looks how Olajuwon, first of all, they're not gonna like the way Olajuwon is speaking to her, but he is saying facts. He's saying things that any girl needs to hear. Olajuwon comes across as that male chauvinist guy who, what do you bring to the table type of guy. Ugh. I hate those guys. I do. I hate those guys. But in this incident, it's almost a valid question. Like, what do you bring to the table? And it's hurtful. You know, either it's the cameras and it's the situation that's really not a normal situation, that Katina hasn't gotten it together and she's not doing things like normal, because that very well could be the situation. Katina can't be, you know, the woman that she is, you know, on her own, with her own place, with her own situation going on, and not know how to do anything. I'm not buying that. her situation is different and it's not really allowing her to be at normal and do things as usual. You feel that? So that could be it. Or it could be that she does lack skill. And let's go there. Because Elijah never made it come across like it was a deal breaker. He always gave off this understanding that he'll be patient, they'll work through it, they'll do it together. Now he's coming off bossy, like, he's the prize, and if she don't get it together, how is he gonna pick her in the 8 weeks? And I thought to him, boo-boo, she ain't gotta pick you in the 8 weeks while you talking. I just did not like the way Elijah came off, and to me, okay, I really appreciated him being real, though. I felt like he told her something she needed to know, if that's the problem. Now, Katina was lost for words. Katina's not a confrontational person, but her strength shined through it all. I'm not about to tell you that I can be a better woman, or I could be this woman, or I could, She said, I'm not about to say that. I'm not doing it. He's like, I'm not trying to tell you to say it. I seen the strength in Katina in that moment that lets me know, okay, maybe Katina's not stupid, but she's not trying to say anything in the wrong way, and she gets it. But I seen him beating down her confidence. Pastor Cal, I need you to step in and interject, please. These are the moments I need Pastor Cal to step in, step up, somebody, because now you got somebody that is pouncing on someone's self-esteem and attacking them. Elijah is attacking her, and he's attacking her, I don't know to be mean, but the way he's rushing to even he would be done with her, he's come across mean. And he doesn't mean all the other stuff he said, because if it takes so little for you to unravel, sir, what are you there for? You ain't there to be married. And her friend, Katina's friend, Jelani, I think it was, he was right about Elijah in a way. Because this is another thing that disappoints me about Elijah. You were very clear. You were very good about being clear. You were very genuine. You came across very genuine about your approach to making her feel comfortable enough to unravel. Now, this is my assumption, and I could be wrong about this, but this is just my assumption. Elijah has also gotten the kitty Clover. And so all that chasing he was doing, he doesn't have to do anymore. Now, it could really be that he lack leadership in her, and it's disturbing his soul. Because I don't even like the comparisons that he gave. Like, I have a house I bought and paid for. I've paid off my loans. Good for you. See, now he's picking out things and he's making himself better than her, which now you're coming to a judgmental crucifixion, and again, you're coming off disingenuine. You know what I'm saying? Because you're judging me off things that still can be fixed, that really aren't your problem. It could be your problem, but it's still things that, nobody's perfect. And for you to think that she should have her house paid off and have her credit fixed, that's what you did. That's your accomplishment. Yippee-yay for you. She still can learn to budget in a relationship with you and learn to cure those things. Who are you to throw snowballs at her because she's not on the same level you think she should be on? Which is, you're on a higher vibration. Now you're trying to lower her worth. And it just, I am wanting to box Elijah because Elijah, you're disappointing me. Now your true colors are starting to come out. Not only are you controlling, you're being bipolarish by, flipping and going into a whole different mood and attacking and, belittling and, coming with a forceful tone. You're very aggressive and it's just so much balled in one right now. You're acting like you're too good for the moment and it's annoying. I'm not going to say that. I was about to say something. I don't want to make this about color because I don't want to be attacked when people do see this. But it comes across as pretty privilege. A guy that's handsome and has handsome privileges with that make other women and lower their vibration towards a guy like him. He know he's good looking, and he's using that handsome as he's the prize, and he's selfish. Remember, he said in his intro is I used to have women, any pick of one, type of woman I wanted, and I would do whatever with these women, and I would be so self-centered and selfish that I made everything about me, and I see all of that in his situation because it's like anybody who, if you used to be an alcoholic, did you go get a detox and go through a program? Some people can stop drugs overnight. Some people can stop smoking overnight. Some people can stop being a sex alcoholic. They put it down. But most people need assistance out of that. They need to go to some type of rehab or some type of therapy to, pull them from that stronghold, And I'm thinking, did he detox? How long did he go without, being with women? And when was the last time he had sex before he got on this show? What qualifies him to put up his past, his shoes of the past, and say he was ready for Married at First Sight? How long had he been out of the threesomes and the sleeping with mama and daughter? How long has that kind of behavior been distanced from Olajuwon? That to me should be a question that Katina asked him to kind of get more of a direction of who is trying to come out of Olajuwon right now. Or is this just an episode of them going through the trials and tribulations, and they'll get over this hump and come to a master understanding after this? But to me, this right here is still something to focus on. Because at the end of the day, after 8 weeks, you still is going to be connected to this person who has these attributes about him that are not good, that could turn into a real issue. Because with the cameras on, he's being nice. With them cameras off, I see name calling. I see things that is harmful, hurtful, and he don't care. You know what I'm saying? He's had so many women, so men like him can be really heartless, and you just don't know where they're at. Like he said, love is not on the table. I like you, Katina, but I'm not in love. He's holding off love based on her standard, her qualifications of his standards and expectations. That's not love. That's not how you. If you were gonna do that, what you should have did was pick your own wife and made sure that you're meeting someone on that meet all your qualifications, and you deal with it that way. You signed up to meet a stranger, and you didn't tell Married at First Sight, the show, in the process of your bio. You did not tell them that cooked meals are important to you. You're a fraud to me right now. All the high hopes that I have for Olajuwon is nothing but concerns. I don't care if they patch it up. And it looks all good and gravy next episode. This to me is real stuff that you have to pay attention to. These are serious traits in people, and they're red flags. That can you deal with this out of Olajuwon for the rest of your life? Like he think he has options, but at the end of the day, she still has options. And I hope she really pay attention and kind of realize maybe Olajuwon is not it. But the thing of it is when you've already kind of put your guards down and you done gave up your kitty and you done. This is why I was mad at Pastor Cal getting in it. Go ahead and have sex, Pastor Cal. You should not jump in people's bedroom on this show. What you should encourage is for them to continue to get to know one another and get comfortable with each other. If it's only been a week or two, you should not be stressing that they hurry up or go ahead and have sex. Yes, sex can be a bonding moment for some people, but somebody like Olajuwon, a girl needs to take it very slow with Olajuwon, because Olajuwon does things by earning respect. And by giving it to him, you just did what every girl does. Gave him the booty work real quick. He needs to have to wait because, he's been down that road before. Hold on. Where are you going? Oh, ouch. Do you want to take your car? Okay, and I'm making a video right now. So, sorry about that, y'all. So, yeah. So, Olajuwon is just, this is the deep end for me for him. But this is something you don't just, like if it's the next episode 10, and they laughing and ha ha ha, acting like, it's a blowover and they had a serious conversation and everything's getting light. I wouldn't. I would still kind of hold on to this because this is the meat and potatoes of him. And it's where they're really going to get to know each other and can they get over this hump. These are the red flags that, unfortunately, you're already married. And so the only going back is when you meet the 8-week point. This is the part where you slow your roll and you start to get to know one another. It is cool if she starts to, buckle up and do some of the things that he expects, because it's only going to benefit her in the end as well. Even if it doesn't work out, it's going to show her, I need to be more up on my game. But today's women are not like yesterday's women. Yesterday's women didn't work 90%. The man worked and brought home the check, and she stayed home and took care of the house. Today, mom and dad, they both have a job, a 9 to 5. And, women are still supposed to be the 1950s wife. She's supposed to work all day, come home, cook a meal, clean up, and take all the kids to whatever soccer practice and this and that, while the man just goes to work and bring home a paycheck. And his input in the family participation of different things is limited. You feel me? He's still just bringing home a paycheck. And not only did the question Olajuwon brought to Katina was, if I broke my leg and, could you carry out everything? Would it go into ruins and chaos? That goes for a man. What I do like is, he's trying to do everything 50-50. He's trying to let's clean up. He's helping cook. He is showing his 50-50 input. And I appreciate Olajuwon for that, because he's trying to show her, I will be very patient with you, but I can see he wants her to take leadership on some things. He was very disappointed in her for not cooking one dish at least, and or having all her friends do it and she not handle it. If y'all didn't catch it, I caught it. He called it his home, or he called it his party, basically. He didn't say our party. He said his. And I thought that was pretty selfish. I was like, I'm looking at everything Olajuwon does, because Olajuwon came off so cruel. Even though what he said was true, a lot of things needed to be said that he said, but it was his delivery and his irritation that was behind it. Like, dude, it's not that deep, and you're going way deeper than you should, and you're going to disconnect you guys' situation when you could be a lovely married couple, but because you're taking it overboard. Yeah. So, but back to the basics, I feel like, Katina can learn all the things that he's asking her to do. But see, for me, for Elijah, what if she started doing everything that you're asking her to do and, she's getting good at it, then what? Then what's your next reason to imagine that this relationship won't work? I feel like it's going to go from one situation to another. So, no, Zamora, come back. Grandma's a little baby puppy. I'm grandma. So, that was my outlook. Sorry for all the interruptions. Your kids always want to, even though they grown, they still like little kids when it comes to stuff like this. But I hope, this is my hope for Katina and Elijah. I hope that he can see what a great person she is and see the potential in her character and see, because Katina, she is good. She's handling it like a pro. She may not be standing up to him like very argumentative. I would be combative just a little, because I sure would have told him, bro, you're threatening me with that 8-week thing. It's 8 weeks for you too. And I get what you're saying, and I appreciate you for letting me know, but don't come at me like that. Shut that attitude you got down, or we don't have to wait till 8 weeks. Decision day could be today. I don't want that. I like you. I want to see if this works between us, but I will not accept disrespect. And another thing that I didn't like Katina did. Ladies, please. Never tell your new love interest what your old one did. She shared, because he was for some reason bothered that she didn't cry. And I thought that was weird. It's like, why do you want her to cry, dude? Now it's like he's getting a little joy out of it because he see her crying. I just didn't know what he was expecting out of Katina. You didn't cry during the marriage. You didn't cry there. Like, dude, what's the big deal? So with that, she kind of explained what her ex used to say and do to her, and the put downs and the abuse he gave. Never, women, tell your new love interest how abusive your last love interest was. I am 50-something years old. I have learned that lesson. You know what you do when you do that? You tell your new interest how to dog you out too. You think men take that and say, oh my gosh, I'm never going to hurt you in that way. No. Men, especially like how Elijah is coming across to me. He's coming across to me as that dude who, what do you bring to the table? That man versus woman kind of guy, that 1950 male egotistical type of guy. He's come across to me as that. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care about you getting abused. You know what they think? You allowed yourself to get abused. That was on you. And that, even though he give out advice, don't let other people determine the way you move forward. Good advice, but trust me, somewhere down the line, you're going to be just like that person. And he's going to know that you will accept it because you accepted it from this other guy. And he's going to expect for you to accept it because you accepted it from the guy before. So if you accepted it from him, you should accept it from me too. So, he's not going to treat you any better. I dated a guy before and things were going good until he said, so you never told me how, things was with the last guy. How did he treat you? And I said, now, are you wanting to know so you'll know what not to do, or you want to know so you don't have to treat me any better than that? And he said, well, I don't want to do things that, I don't have to do. And I said, so I ordered some more stuff, and I made sure that bill was large before I knew this was our last date. Because when men come across as creeps, but, for me, Elijah Wan is your typical guy that get girls misconstrued. And then guys be like, well, you were stupid for believing it. Elijah Wan came out very genuine. He came out very honest and pouring out his heart. And he's reneging right now. So that's where women go wrong. We believe you. We believe you when you say it, if you say it in so many times. And, okay, so when you're filling a girl's head up with, oh, you're so pretty, oh, you're so pretty, oh, you're so beautiful, kiss them, you're so beautiful. Even though she should be over that with guys, it still makes us feel so good. And, you just had a wedding, a marriage that feels like Cinderella moment. You know what I'm saying? So it was the moment, it was the atmosphere, it was everything about that to kind of make her drop her guards and believe you, Elijah Wan. And all you did was put bitter icing on a cake. Because tasting it looks sweet, but when you taste it, it's bitter. Like, why is this icing bitter and not sweet? Because there's something in it that's not right. And so I'm going to leave on that note. I'm disappointed in Elijah Wan. I don't care if their next episode is better than this one. There's so many red flags in this episode that need to be dealt with. Even though Elijah Wan was right. Ladies, if you want to be married, you have to get in position to at least know the basics, know how to cook. This ought to say something to parents too. Am I teaching my young women at least the basics of not only how to care for a husband, but to care for herself? I taught all my children how to cook. They know how to wash their own clothes, and just different things that if they got in a marriage setting, my sons know how to take over and cook a meal if their wives are down for a moment and can't provide for the family. They know how to hold it together. And it's very important, women, that you find men who also know how to hold it together, not just looking at you to be a Betty Crocker. You know what I'm saying? So make sure, I think this episode was a very valid point for young people when they're looking for love and what some expectations are going to be as a role in being a partner. I don't think Elijah Wan was trying to single her out to be mean, but he did it in a mean way and hateful, and he didn't take the time to understand she's new at this. This is new for them. This is new for, he's just mad. And that's the immature red flag that I see, that he's not controlling himself in a proper way, to understand this is a new situation for the both of us. If he didn't feel comfortable with it as moving on as a wife, that's cool, because that's his choice at the end of the day. But the way he's making his choice, the behavior that he's drawn from it, that's unacceptable. And that's the part where, do you want to be eventually fighting? Because to me, being this mad at somebody, it's either words or, like he said, he gonna leave you. He gonna cheat. He gonna do, all the things he shouldn't do because he's impatient and he can't handle it. And it irks him to the point of he's in full-blown anger. So that's all not good. So, okay. That's enough about this, but that's how I feel. And ladies, remember, never tell your ex about the abuse you experienced. Always make it seem like the last person loved you beyond control, and why y'all didn't get along, you came upon, differences in y'all in certain beliefs, and leave it at that. Don't be telling me and he beat me and he used to black my eye and I had to go to the women's shelter and I had to hide from him. Don't be telling nobody that stuff. That is nobody's business but yours. You leave that packed in a box, tucked away forever. Nobody's business, because telling the new man what the old man did is not going to make him not do you the same way. So that's my words of encouragement. I hope I said something that people can agree with. Leave your comments down below. Share, subscribe, and, let me know how you feel about what you think, or did you even get through this video? All right. Thank y'all. Have a good day. See y'all next Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Thank you. In the meantime and in between time, you'll get another video. Bye.